We will open it up for any questions. We request that if anybody is not speaking, please mute yourself so that nobody else is disturbed. Over on to you, Doctor.
Yeah, a very good morning to all of you. Uh, and it's really nice to be back on another Saturday. Of course, as Mr. Saleh was telling, it's slightly less rainy today. So I am sure everybody has had their breakfast and is in a good mood for some exercise, because today the session is all about that. I have with me Dr. Pratha Mehta, who specifically loves working with old people, and she's a physiotherapist, and she also specializes in musculoskeletal conditions. So she will be taking over after a short talk by me. I Unfortunately, I will have to leave early today because I have to sort of go and see patients. So maybe after my talk I'll be leaving, but I will be leaving you in the able hands of Dr. Pratha, who will be showing you some exercises as well, and she's very much capable of giving all the answers for whatever queries you have as far as exercise and the old is concerned. Now, exercise, when we say, a lot of old people think that exercise is like when I'm home, I'm just doing all the home things. So that is exercise enough. No, it's not like that. Usually, exercise means that you actually have to try to burn some calories. Again, exercise is very specific to the way you are. For example, if you have an osteoarthritis of the knee and you want to run on the treadmill, no, I wouldn't say that is the right thing to do. So everybody needs a specific exercise regimen. So we in geriatrics, what we do is we do something known as a comprehensive geriatric assessment, in which one of our teammates is a physiotherapist. Why? Because every older person needs a physiotherapy assessment, in the sense that whether they have conditions specific which actually need specific physiotherapy, and that is very, very important. And depending on the conditions, the exercise is given. Now, a lot of people have doubts that now that we are not able to go out, so how are we going to do the exercise? No, not all exercises need you to go out, need you to actually leave your house. There are specific exercises for specific conditions, one. And two is also there is exercise which can just in general keep you fit. So that is very important. That's why when we assess you in that geriatric assessment, we are able to know that these are your conditions, and this is where exercise becomes important. Now, doing the right exercise is important. Why? Because sometimes when you do it the wrong way, you actually have a risk of fall, you actually have a risk of developing other things. So that's why reconfirming whenever you are looking at your physiotherapist, if you have any doubts, you should clear them, and you can be in touch with them to actually show you or demonstrate you the exercises again if you're not really sure about it. Then there are something known as balancing exercises, which obviously help you to improve your gait. Then there are exercises which actually help you in burning calorie. So which is what we are actually looking at. Now the benefits of exercise are immense. Exercise is one of the most important things which help in building your immunity. It keeps you in general fresh. It helps you in maintaining your weight. It obviously makes you in having a good amount of appetite as well, because when you burn energy, burn calories, you obviously want to eat as well. And then it also helps to a great extent to boost your memory. It helps in actually taking care of most diseases, like even if you have cardiology diseases, neurology diseases like stroke, heart, a history of heart attack, all these things, exercises actually help. But a caution always, exercise that you do cannot be the same for another person. It's not necessary that Mr. X is walking at this speed means you also have to walk at the same speed. No, whenever you go into any exercises, give yourself a warm up time, because a lot of times older people just go into an exercise, they are into full enthusiasm, and then once they do it they get tired and they're like, oh, abhi main wapas kar paunga ya nahi kar paunga. And then once you lose that impetus or that motivation, then you're not able to do it again. So that is one thing. Second is, never delve into any exercises yourself. Please try to do things only, because sometimes what happens, if you just do it because you have seen it online or you're doing it, there is always a risk of injury, and there is always a risk of you doing things which might not be right. So it's always better that you have an assessment and you have a specific person who can guide you through it. Now, another thing which is killing us during this time is, unfortunately, even if we have not been sedentary, we have become sedentary. So Dr. Pratha would also talk about that. Now, being sedentary, should not be a couch potato. That's one of the most important things, because ultimately, if we keep sitting, not moving around, there is something known as immobility. Now, I'm very scared of an older person who doesn't move around, because an immobile old person can get other things like constipation. He can end up getting urinary problems. So when you're more mobile, when you do exercise, it helps in improving your constipation also, because your bowels also are very much synced. Then another important thing for exercise is physical as well as mental. Now, mental exercises, of course, we'll get to it at some other point, but physical exercise also boosts your mental aspect as well, because it gives you a sense of good thing, a sense of good feeling. And the biggest problem that has happened, or the biggest challenge that has happened, is now the fit elderly have not been able to go out, not been able to walk, not been able to exercise. So Dr. Pratha would also want to tell you what you can do being at home as well, because that is, I think, also something which is very important, to keep yourself fit at home till, of course, things ease a bit more. And then we obviously are able to, I mean, you are able to do the normal exercise regimens or the normal visits that you used to actually do. So before I give over to Pratha, I would just want to introduce her a bit. Yeah, Dr. Pratha has worked with me with a lot of old patients, and one of her biggest advantages is she's very empathetic, and she is very humane with old people. And I think that is very important as far as making older people do exercises and making them believe that they actually can do the exercises. And she specializes in musculoskeletal conditions, which I told you. So Dr. Pratha, over to you, and the session belongs to you now, so you can take it forward from here. I would be taking my leave now, so I'm sorry about it that I have to leave early today, but then because I have certain patients to visit. So Dr. Pratha will solve any of your doubts. If you have any doubts specific to exercise, which you can get through to Mr. Saleh at the end of this also, I will get in touch with you, or I can also maybe do a separate video for you later, if at all we can do it, if you have any specific medical doubts. But as far as physiotherapy is concerned, I think Dr. Pratha should be able to handle most of your questions. So over to you, Dr. Pratha, and thanks a lot for your patient hearing. I would be leaving now. Thank you.
Thank you very
Dr.
much.
Praveen. Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Pratha.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, sir, for a wonderful intro. And thank you, Tare Social, to be having me here. So now we'll be talking a little bit about exercises as sir introduced. But I want it to be a very interactive session. So first, let me know you all are comfortable with English or English, Hindi, or Hindi specifically.
English. Will be okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Dr. Pratha,
So,
everybody's
now,
mute. So everybody's on mute. So in case you want to ask a question, maybe Dr. Pratha, just ask them that please unmute and they can ask a question. Or else I'll request everybody to stay on mute.
Right. Okay. So I want it to be a little bit of an interactive session. So I'll be asking a few questions intermittently. So in case you want to answer, please unmute yourself and then answer. So first thing that I want to start with is asking you this, that how has your lockdown and unlock period has been? A positive one or a negative one?
Positive one.
Absolutely positive now.
It is positive, yeah.
Wow, that's very good to hear. So also, have you been exercising at home?
Yes.
Yeah.
To some extent.
Yes.
Yes.
And what kind of exercises?
Maybe some yogic exercises, pranayama, some stretching exercises.
Some deep breathing exercises.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's wonderful to know that a lot of you have been taking this initiative to up your health and keep exercising and staying fit. So I would like to start with a little bit of an analogy. So if you have a slum, Okay, a house in a slum, which is like a shag and a dirty house with no good facilities, no electricity, no water running, everything is a hassle. And on the other hand, you have a good house, a penthouse at Worli Sea Face, and then you have the ocean view on the on an amazing level, and everything is very luxurious and nice. What would you prefer? Which one would you prefer? The
Of course.
shack or the penthouse?
Penthouse, of course.
Penthouse, of course.
Penthouse, of course, yes. So you must be wondering, what a silly question am I asking? Everybody would prefer the good house. Why would somebody prefer a bad house, right? But the thing is, our bodies are our own houses. So when we are living into our body, we are living into a house. And the house behaves as we train it to behave. So it can be a slum area where everything is dysfunctional, everything is painful, everything is not moving properly. Or it can be something very magical and lovely, where your body has a good coordination with your mind. So it is pain free, it is energetic, it is completely healthy, and you are good to go all the time. So that is completely in our hands. So whether we are living in a slum or whether we are living in a penthouse is on each one of us. That is decided by us, what kind of a house we ourselves have created for ourselves in our own body. I request others to please mute their mic. Slight disturbance in the mic. Now this
I'm muting
lockdown
everybody, and
situation.
just unmute yourself. People have kept it.
So this lockdown situation has created kind of a very quirky phenomena where all of us are stuck in the house. So whenever I've interacted with the elderly earlier, the first point that I used to always hear from them is, we love to walk, we love to socialize, we go on walks with our friends, we go in the morning or in the evening. So those are very crucial or important part of an elderly's lifestyle. So now, because we all have been under a lockdown event, those walks have been curtailed for an elderly. So now the question is, a lot of people don't know what to exercise, how to exercise. So like you all rightly mentioned, that stretching, yoga, breathing, meditation, which are all very good form of exercises. But individually, one thing for a little while doesn't help overall so much to your body. So what has to be done, how it has to be done, and what regimen has to be followed to see a positive benefit on your body is very, very important. Now, due to the lockdown, all of us are into sitting position. So most of the time we are sitting. Now, whenever I say this to anybody that we all have adopted a sedentary lifestyle, the quickest response I get is, no, I walk around, which is very true. Everybody must be walking around in the house. But ask yourself these questions. Are you doing a lot of sitting work? Are you watching TV for more than 1 hour in the day? Are you online for more than 1 hour in the day where you're sitting and doing stuff? Or are you sitting for more than 3 hours in a day constantly at a place while reading or watching TV or watching Netflix or calling somebody online or having a chat? So if any of these factors are positive for you, and are you working at home? Working at home, example, are you cooking? Are you cleaning dishes or some amount of work at home? Are you sharing the load, or do you have a maid or other people to help around with that? So if your answer to all this is that somebody else is there to help around, you're sitting most of the time, then you are into a sedentary lifestyle. So you have adopted a sedentary lifestyle. So we all, even including me, we all are on a journey to become couch potatoes, like even Sir mentioned. So sedentary lifestyle is very, very harmful for especially an elderly. For example, I'll tell you a study. This study was conducted by a British scientist in bus drivers and bus conductors. So what they did was, they assessed the overall health of the bus conductors and the bus drivers. They assessed their overall happiness of the bus conductors, bus drivers, overall well-being of both of them. And what they realized is that the bus conductors were much more healthier, much more happier, much more fitter, and much more prosperous in their personal lives as well, as compared to the bus drivers. So the bus conductors were fitter as compared to the bus drivers. So when they assessed this into a little detail, what they went through is that the pay scale was similar, the social class was very much similar, the working environment was similar. So what was different in these two? That's such a drastic difference. So what they found out is that the working condition was different. For example, the bus conductor is standing all the time. He's giving people tickets. He's getting down. He's coming up. He's walking around. and the bus driver has to sit for those particular hours of the journey constantly. So this was the main difference that was found out, and such a little difference, you might say. We never noticed this, right? So much when we were traveling in buses and all. But such a minute difference over the course of years led to a drastic difference in personal happiness, fitness, well-being, every parameter that you can measure it probably on. Another study I would like to tell you. There were school kids, and there was a study done in school kids where a particular class, like 5th standard, was into two sections, 5th A, 5th B. So one section was made to study the whole semester without any chairs. So they just had a table and they had to stand and they had to make all the notes and do the whole happening of the day. And the other section was made to do the normal routine like we have in schools, like students sitting and writing and whatever. So what they found out is when they took an exam afterwards, what they found out is the students who were standing had better grades without any difference in teaching or personal study. So all of them were at the same level and the same teachers were teaching both the sections. So they found there was a drastic difference, not just minute 19-20 difference, a drastic difference between the students who were standing and studying and those who were sitting and studying. So why is this difference? What happens when you're standing and what happens when you're sitting? So research says that if you're sitting for more than 3 hours, the blood supply or the arteries in your body dilate to 50%. So imagine the blood supply reduces by 50% to all your organs, to every part of the body when you're sitting. Your calorie burning capacity reduces to 1 calorie per minute, which is very, very low. It is almost like negligible. Your muscle work reduces to almost at rest, means almost zero, goes almost zero. So many changes when you're sitting become negative. Now, what happens when you just stand? Okay, no form of exercise. Currently, we're just talking about if we stand. So if I'm standing, my muscles work 200 times more than what they were working in sitting. My calorie burning, instead of 1 calorie per minute, goes to like 15 or 20 calorie per minute. So the calorie burning rate suddenly shoots up and my muscles are working more. My heart is pumping more blood. Because I'm standing, it has to pump the blood against gravity. So all these factors that are happening are like really positive for the body only if you learn to stand up properly. So there was this very learned scientist back a few years ago, and he was asked, he was a movement physiologist. So he was asked that what to do to stay fit. What quick call or quick tip you'll give us to stay fit? This guy says, if you want to stay fit, just learn how to stand properly. So how are you standing and how much are you not sitting? These two factors are very, very, very important for a good, healthy lifestyle. So we all know the benefits of exercise. For example, even Dr. Prem mentioned, the benefits are improve in muscle mass, improvement in bone density, then your balance is good, your coordination is good, you're walking around better. But there are a few other benefits that we are not so much aware of. So I'd like to tell you some things about these. So for example, now diabetes. Do you all know what diabetes is? You all are aware what diabetes is?
Doctor, we've actually had
Yes.
on
So I'm diabetic.
diabetes.
You've
I'm
had what?
diabetic.
Sorry, I didn't
Yes.
get it. Yes.
Insulin is not there's no insulin in the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Sugar is very high in the blood.
sugar is very high in the blood because the insulin is not able to carry the sugar to the cell. Correct. So in a way, if you see, the sugar is high in the blood, but at the same time, your cells of the body are starving. So they are not getting the sugar because the insulin is not carrying the sugar to the cells. So this you all knew. But now, did you all know that the first precursor of diabetes is loss of muscle strength? So when you have loss of muscle strength, when you have low bone mineral density, that is when your diabetes is like into a precursor level where it's just picking up. So musculoskeletal problems are the precursor of a lot of systemic problems that we thought were not related to it. So we always thought, okay, I've got diabetes because I'm overweight, because I have other issues, lifestyle related issues, and then I had to have diabetes and sitting for long. But what initiated or what precipitated the diabetes is the fact that because you are not exercising, because you are sitting for too long, led to your body losing muscle mass, your body losing muscle strength, your body reducing its bone mineral density from the bone. So this is a precursor. Another very deadly disease that we know of is like Alzheimer's. Everybody knows and everybody fears Alzheimer's. Did you know that the precursor of Alzheimer's is slowness in movement? So when we are saying that, "Arey main chabi idhar bhul gayi," yeah, I forgot something, we think, "Arey mujhe Alzheimer's ho gaya." That is not Alzheimer's. That's just maybe dementia, age-related dementia. कि आप कुछ भूल रहे हो. So that happens with age because your neurons in the brain are like reducing their function, which is a little bit of normality in there. But when you develop a lot of slowness of speed, that tells you that maybe it's a start of Alzheimer's. So what I'm trying to point out is, I'm not trying to scare anybody by the fact that, okay, if you become slow, you will get Alzheimer's. No, that's not what I mean to say. It's not true at all. It's not that if you're slow, you'll get Alzheimer's. All I mean to say is that a slowness of movement or a reduction in your speed of activity or a reduction in activity overall might lead to something which is fatal or detrimental in the long term if not taken care of now. So these two, even blood pressure, like you see, hypertension and diabetes, both these diseases are easily handled by exercises. So all those people on diabetic medications, on BP medications, all that can come down if you are exercising well. And why I'm saying this, I'm not just saying this for people who don't have diabetes and blood pressure that you will not get it. I'm saying this for all those who even have it and are on medications. Your medications can reduce or your medications can completely go off as well if you follow a proper regime. So the trick is proper regime. What happens is we do see a lot of videos online where a lot of people say a lot of things that do this, do that. But one size doesn't fit all when it comes to exercises. Like even Dr. Prem mentioned, something that you are doing and something that your neighbor is doing might not necessarily be the same because your body is completely different from the other person's body. So there has to be tailor-made exercises. Something can overlap, I'm sure, and that's okay. But not everything can be the same. So anything that you watch on, it's right for you at that particular time. So you might end up doing a little more harm than good. So now we'll go to 4 types of exercises. What types of exercises? So first is 4S, I would like to tell you about S. So first S is strength. Second is stability. Third is stamina. And fourth is stretching. So strength is when you're lifting weights. Now, not necessarily that you go to the gym and like lift 1 kg, 2 kg up and down or 3 kg, 4 kg and make those bulk of muscles. So that is not what I mean by strength. Strength can be simply a squat. Your own body exercise can also be strength. So that is in fact our strength, that we can use our body as a form of strengthening exercises at home because we all don't have access to gyms or weights and all at home. So strengthening exercises can be your body weight exercises. And they are amazing when you want to treat your diabetes, when you want to treat your thyroid, when you want to treat your BP issues. Strengthening exercises are very, very important. And of course, to avoid any fear of fall or any other disadvantage of fall can be treated with strengthening exercises. Now, second, I said stamina. Stamina is how far can you do something, or how far can you walk, or how much can you sustain yourself throughout a movement. So if I'm walking and 2 kilometers mein main thak gayi, arey abhi baithna padega. So that is your stamina. You can walk this much for this much amount of time and this much amount of speed. So that is your stamina. How far can you do a particular activity? Then the third one is stability. Stability is very, very, very important when it comes to elderly. So as you all know, with age, some amount of balance issues we all have. So these balance issues, if not tackled at the right time, what can they lead to? They can lead to falls. And if leading to falls, they can lead to some fractures as well. And once you end up with a fracture, it kind of gets very difficult to come out of those negative cycles. So even mentally it's challenging. It is very physically and mentally draining for somebody who's undergone this negative cascade. So where to stop it? To stop it by doing stability exercises. Stability exercises is where you challenge yourself to maintain your balance in spite of a situation where it's disrupting your balance. So that is something, stability. And fourth one is stretching. Stretching. अगर कुछ नीचे गिरा है और आपको उठाना और आप झुक नहीं पा रहे हो कि अरे बाप रे झुक नहीं पा रही हूँ, so that is you lack flexibility. You tell somebody अरे बेटा उठा दो मैं झुक नहीं पा रही हूँ, या फिर something else which you want to pick up or lift up, or you have to bend, or you have to do some movement which requires a more exaggerated range than normal. How far can you do that movement? It's called stretching. Now all four forms of exercise have a very, very important role to play, not just one form of exercise. So like you all said, yoga is good, breathing is good, meditation is good, but just doing one particular activity for a little amount of time doesn't help you overall. If you want to really see an overall change in your body, in your mind, in every parameter of your life, then you have to have a systematic and proper direction to your exercise regime. Now, as we all say in our field, that for every 30 minutes of sitting, 3 minutes you have to stand up. So from today, you all need to pledge that if 30 minutes you start for a straight go, stand up for 3 minutes. Make it a habit for yourself. So if you are watching TV, 30 minutes TV, and then you stand up, take a water break or go around or walk around. And I would insist that TV watching should be as curtailed as possible. So much wisdom, so much knowledge from a precious generation. I do not like getting wasted on a television set. So I would urge you all to start an exercise regime today. And as I notice, we are exactly at half an hour time. So as my rule says, 3 minutes of standing for every 30 minutes of sitting. I would like to take a short demonstration of exercises for you all now. So are you all ready?
Yes.
Yes. I see a lot of nods. Yes.
Yeah, ready.
Wow, that's great.
Ready.
So now, wow, lovely. Now, first I'll start with standing exercises. Okay. So those of you who are unable to stand for now for some reason, whatever, can maintain yourself in sitting. And I will even show the modifications as in how we proceed. But those of you who can stand properly without any balance issues, please keep your phone ahead so that you can see me and I can see you, and stand behind and just see if you're able to like look at me properly. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of people stand up. Now make sure that there is no hindrance around you. So something where you might fall or trip or water, just please be sure that everything around you is very, very safe to proceed with the workout. Now what we'll do is, now there is this form of exercise which is called meditative workout. So meditative workout means that when you are working out, you need to be very, very conscious of your movement. So what are you doing? Your head should be in that. You need to be completely relaxed during the movement. You need not be stressed or too stiff while doing it. Be relaxed. Be focused on the exercises that we are performing. Your mind should be right there what you're doing. And at the same time, keep your breathing normal. So your breathing shouldn't be very fast, or it shouldn't be, you should not be holding your breath. So try to maintain your breathing at a normal, regular pace. Now, first thing what we'll do is stand with both your feet approximately pelvis width apart. Okay. Now, both hands go up like this. And both of them come down like this. So this is like a little bit of warm up that we're starting with. Yes, and down. Now when you take it up, take a deep breath in. So when I'm taking it up, I'm breathing in. And when I'm taking it down, I'm blowing out through my mouth. So blow out through your mouth. Yes. Up, breathe in. Down, blow out. Up, breathe in. Down, blow out. If any of you has any breathing, any shoulder issues, please don't do it if it's hurting you. Breathe in, breathe out. Yes. Breathe in, breathe out. Yes. Very good. Those of you who can't stand and do it, sit and do this. Now, one thing that I want you all to notice is when I'm doing it, My tummy is in and my buttocks are tight and squeezed in. So I'm not like this or I'm not like this when I'm doing it. If I do it this way or if I do it this way, it's more harmful than beneficial. So what you need to do is your body completely tight from this area. So slightly tuck your tummy in, but keep breathing normally. I repeat again, keep breathing normally and do not hold your breath while doing this. Now when this area is taut, now take the hands up, breathe in as up as possible and breathe out. So you'll notice a difference. When this portion is tight, it requires more energy and it requires you to be more focused on the movement. Breathe in, breathe out. Yes. Now for those whom this is very easy, what we'll do is breathe. While you breathe in, come on your toes. And while you breathe out, come down. So breathe in while you go up, breathe out while you come down. Breathe in while up, breathe out while down. Breathe in and breathe out. Very good. Stop. Now next what we'll do is same movement but different shoulder direction. So it will be like a bird. Breathe in, breathe out. Those who can do with coming on your toes, do it that way. But what is important, that your torso is stabilized. This portion has to be firm and stabilized. Breathe in, breathe out while you come down. Breathe in while you go up, breathe out while you come down. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep going. 3 more. 3, down, 2, down, once more, and down. Very good. So I see a few of you are not doing it. So may I know what is the reason you're not comfortable? Something wrong? If there's any issues during the exercise, you want to ask something, please feel free to interrupt and ask me at the moment. Now next what we'll do is all these exercises are training your balance as well. So you can't do it with a floppy posture and just waving your hands here and there. You have to keep this area taut and like a tree, like the bark of a tree, it has to be taut and steady. So now what you'll do is both the hands up on one side and down. Bring it down. The other side and down. So if you see, I'm rotating a little and going on one side and down. So try and reach as far as possible. And then down. Like we're lifting something up from the kitchen shelf and keeping it down. Yes. Up and down. If you have any back problem which you think is increasing while doing this, please don't do the movement. We can address the issue separately. Yes. Up and down. Very nice. Up, down, up, down. Keep your torso tight. Keep breathing. Make sure you stretch your body as much as you can. And down. Do at your own pace. No hurry. Up and down. Up and down.
How many times?
Up and down. Try and take it around 10 repetitions to start with, but you can even go more. You can go to 15, you can go to 20. So, but try and start with at least 10 repetitions for every set of exercise that we're doing. Okay?
Thank you.
Now, next one is.
Yeah, ma'am.
Next one is. Yes. Somebody's asking something? Okay. Now we go for shoulder rotation. This I'm sure you must have done a lot of times. But what is important is you roll your shoulders completely while keeping your torso tight. So this portion shouldn't go loose. What we do a lot of times is we are not focusing here. We are just doing the shoulder. But this doesn't work. If you want good activity of the shoulder, you have to make sure this is taut. So yes, keep doing at your own pace. Finish 10 repetitions at your own pace. Comfortably as much as you can. Very good. Everybody is doing very well. Nice. All those who are not doing as of now, I would request you all to join in. It's really fun. Yes, if there's any issue, please be free to ask me. Now we go the other way. Torso tight, body erect. The other side. Very nice. Rotate, 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 rotate. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well done. Now next is, we'll do a little bit of spot marching. Okay, so what you have to do, keep both your hands here, a little near your abdomen area, and one leg up. If you have any balance issue, you can even hold and do it, no problem at all. So go according to your own pace. Why are we keeping the hand? So that your leg comes up and touches your hand. So you have to try and lift it up. If not possible, no issue. Slowly, slowly we can build it up. So don't get discouraged if you're not able to do it. Everybody do it at your own pace. While you're doing it, slow movement. Now look at me when I'm doing it. My core is tight. This portion has to be taut. If you're experiencing any knee pain or back pain while doing it, please sit down. We will tackle that issue separately. So this is a general exercise. If you're comfortable, then only do it. If there's some specific issue with you all, then you can give it a break. We can modify it in some other way. Up and down. If you're not able to take it too high, never mind. Take it as far as you can. Everybody is doing very nice. Very proud of you. Great. Keep going. If you're tired, sit down. If you want a sip of water, please feel free to have it. Go according to your own pace. Very good. Very good. Very good. And last time. Okay. Relax. So now for everybody, this exercise will be different. Some of you must have found it really difficult. Some of you must have found it moderate. Some of you must have found it kitna easy tha. So it depends on what your body level is right now. And on depending on that, we have to build it up. Okay, now next is simple, both hands on the waist. Fun exercise. Easy and fun. Gentle movement. See, I'm not forcing the movement. I'm not doing it like this. Okay, how am I doing it? Slow, smooth, rhythmic movement. So the rhythm of the movement is important. How far you go, how fast you go is not important. Yes, very nice. A lot of you are doing very well. Again, tuck your tummy slightly in. This portion has to be taut. Very good. Now the other way. We go the other way. 3, 4, at your own pace. 5, no hurry. 6, 7, very good. 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Well done, all of you. Now, next one is, I would like to show you something in sitting. So, this is like a sit to stand that we do. So, if you all want to really assess your body, how strong or how good strength your body has, what you need to, all of you need to do is just show me how you get up. Just get up from your chair. How do you get up? Do you use the hand support to get up? Do you keep your hands here to push yourself to get up? Or you can get up without any support? How do you get up? Notice it for yourself. Be your own doctor right now. How do you get up? Do you get up like this? Or do you get up like this without any support as well? Or do you need some amount of push to get up? So this tells you how fit you are, how strong your legs are. And until your legs are strong, your core or your upper body, your torso will never be strong enough until your legs are strong. So this kind of gives you a feedback. Now, if you were able to stand up unsupported completely, then next step what we do is cross one leg over the other. Cross any one leg over the other. I hope you all can see. So this I've crossed this my right leg over my left leg. And now I push with only my left leg and try to stand up. And then the same way I try to sit down. So do it yourself. If you don't have any knee pain, then only please proceed. Otherwise, it's okay if you don't do it. So if you are able to do this, your strength is optimal. Optimal means a good amount of strength. And if you're not able to do this, and if you require a lot of support to get up, that means your legs are weak. So you need to be training your legs a lot more than you have been doing. And if you're strong, well, very nice. But we need to work much more on it to bring you to a very great level of fitness. Now, next thing is, we'll do a little bit of breathing exercise. Okay, so one hand on the upper part of your chest and the other here, around the diaphragm area, which is just the upper abdomen. So one hand here, and what you have to do is take a deep breath through your nose and blow out through your mouth. Now look at me when I do it. Breathe in, not hand on the shoulder. Hand should be on the chest. Chest. Yes. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Now, why have we kept the hand? So that you can have an awareness of how much air is going underneath your hand. So a hand should inflate when you're breathing in and deflate when you're breathing out. So breathe in, breathe out. Everybody do this 5 times. It has to be very, very relaxed. Do not force the breathing. Go at your own pace. Relax completely. Focus on the breathing. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Very nice. Keep going. Great. All of you are doing very nice. Very happy to see so many people exercise together. Wonderful. Keep breathing. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Deep breath. Breathe out. Deep blowing out. Yes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Very good. Now relax. Now, are you all comfortably seated? Sit down comfortably. Yes. So this was a breathing exercise that we just did. Breathing exercises are very important to calm yourself down, to reduce your BP, to improve blood circulation, to reduce any amount of stress, and innumerable benefits of breathing exercise. So make sure you all keep doing breathing exercises regularly. Now with regularly, what do I mean? You can do it even 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day, depending on whenever you feel like doing it. So do not do it immediately after you've eaten, but like once you wake up in the morning, you can do 5 to 10 sets of breathing exercise. Then maybe by 11 o'clock you can do. Then maybe by like if you have lunch at 1, then you can do around 3 o'clock, then around 5 o'clock. So it depends completely on you, but the more you regulate your breathing, the better. Now breath is called the pran. Pran means life. So breath is called a life force. So the more regulated your breath is, all the illnesses stay away. As far as possible, illnesses are scared of coming to you. An apple a day keeps doctor away. Even breathing well in the day keeps the doctor away and keeps all the illnesses away. So make sure from today you all pledge that breathing will be an integral part of your life and not just once a day. A lot of us think, okay, subah 2 minutes humne breathing kar liya, done. But the more you do, the better. Just you have to do it the correct way. And when you're doing it, do not hold your breath. Please be sure when you're doing a breathing exercise, you are not holding your breath. That's the most important thing I want you to remember. Now in this COVID time, everybody is talking about immunity, immunity, immunity. So I thought I'll bring to you a very ancient wisdom that our country has had since years. Is a particular acupressure point which is very, very vital for improving your immunity. So what it is, everybody expose this part of your hand. Show it to me in front of the camera, this part. Yes, yes. Now this portion at the side. So you see these are bones, okay. So these are bones. Now above here, where your muscle bulk is there. So this is a good pressure point. Gently press on it and gentle revolving movement with a little bit of pressure. This is a very good pressure point and very, very important for improving your immunity. So you can do this 2 or 3 times a day, or even once if you wake up in the morning and you can do it well and good. So elbow, these are bones. We are not doing it on the bone. Where we are doing it, the muscle bulk. This is a muscle bulk which is on this side, this aspect. So my outer side of the hand has a muscle bulk here. So I am kind of pressing there and holding that pressure point for a few seconds. And that is like an acupressure. If it benefits you or not, we are not 100% sure right now. Okay, but it surely won't harm you in any way. And these things are very long term. So you don't see the benefit in like a day or so. Like if we have a headache, we pop a pill and we are like, oh, headache chala gaya. So this will not show you an effect like in a day or 2. But constantly when you're doing it, you are regulating a lot of benefits into your body, which you will not even realize that happened because of what. So good habit is always the best thing to have. Now next is, yes, a lot of people are doing it right. Next is your web space. So these are your, take any hand, left or right, any hand. And this is your web space between your thumb and the first index finger. So now what you have to do is with the other hand, 2 fingers, press into the web space. You can even do it this way or this way, whichever you feel is comfortable. So to press into the web. Yes. And you can do it on both the sides. Do it, hold it for a few seconds. When you do it, hold it for a few seconds. It should be a good amount of pressure. It should not be a very light pressure. It should be some amount of good pressure. Yes. And hold it for a few seconds. Very. So this one more thing you can add to your routine every morning. Very good. A lot of you are doing very well. If there's any question regarding whatever I'm telling you, please feel free to interrupt and ask me right away. Now the third thing is this area of your sternum. Behind this area is a gland called thymus gland. It is very, very, very important for developing your immunity. So what we need to do is make a fist, a little bit of fist. हम किसी को मुक्का मारते हैं तो ऐसे मारते हैं ना, to make that fist, but you have to gently thump on this area. मुक्का नहीं मारना है किसको. Gently thump on this area. Yes. If you have had any recent scar here or any surgery related to the heart or anything which is here, don't do the move, don't do the exercise, but otherwise rest all can go ahead. It's a very gentle thump. It's not like I'm hitting on it. Please notice that. It's a very gentle, light thump.
I had a bypass in 2004. Can I do it?
Yes, yes, no problem, no problem. But it's a gentle thump. It's not a forceful hitting hard.
Okay, okay.
A very light thump, which you will hardly notice much. Yes. So what it does is, it stimulates your thymus gland, which is right. Sorry?
With both?
How many times have you to do it?
10 to 15 times, once or twice a day in the morning or in the evening. 10 to 15 times approximately.
In other words, all those exercises that you are showing, each one should be done 10 times. So
yes, approximately I'm saying 10. Approximately I mean 10 times, because for everybody it's a different level of fitness that you are at. So that's why approximately 10, but depending on your own fitness ability or what level you are at, you can modify it. If 10 is too much for you, you can reduce it. If 10 is too less for you, you can increase it. But if you are experiencing pain during any of these exercises, then you need to make sure are you doing it correctly first thing. A lot of times our technique is faulty. The exercise is not wrong, but the technique is faulty. So just focus on your technique. If you think, yes, you're following all instructions and doing it right, and still you feel you have pain, then do not do the movement. So doing something which is harmful is much worse than not doing it at all. So rather don't do it is whenever you are unsure. Always take a professional opinion and then go ahead with it. But do not follow any general opinion. You can only follow general opinions when you're completely healthy. And that too from a professional. So a lot of YouTube videos are just there because people have just put it. So follow videos, no problem. Technology should be used, but follow videos of professionals who you know are doing what they're doing and they have been qualified for it. A lot of people just randomly put things and they're not professionals. They just have a little bit of diploma of 2 months, 3 months in exercise, some physiology, and then they start their own channels. So that is in fact going to be harmful for you rather than benefiting you. So that has to be kept in mind.
Sorry,
now we did 3 things.
One more question. This pressure, how long do you keep it? Just remove it within 1 to 2 seconds.
2 seconds, sir.
Sorry?
No, not 1 to 2 seconds, a little longer, like 5 to 10 seconds I would prefer.
And do it 10 times.
5 times is also pretty good enough. 10 times will be too much, I feel.
Okay.
5 times is also good enough, and even this. First hold for 5 to 10 counts and then do it 5 times.
Thanks.
Like if you feel like doing more, you're free to proceed. No harm. Then
you can even do it 20 times, 3 times. That means 60 times.
Yes. You can do it even more. Yes. No harm. No harm in that. Unless you have had any issue with that particular part of your body, then avoid. It's like for this or this. But I'm very sure you all must be very knowledgeable about it. So that's pretty good.
Okay.
If you've not had any issues, you can do it as much as you want. No harm. Now, next, I would like to take you for a few coordination exercises. So you must be thinking that I'm kind of boring you all by making you do stuff and all. So now we'll go for some very fun, interesting exercises, right? So what you have to do is, now look at my hands and all of you imitate. Keep both your hands like this. All of you in front of the camera. Yes. And one hand this way. Yes. Now You rotate it the other side, both together. Correct. Yes. Keep going. Keep going. Now go as fast as possible. Without getting all clumsy. Maintain the movement and go as fast as possible. So one has to be towards you, one has to be opposite side of you. And then keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. I'm looking at everybody. Very good. I'm impressed. A lot of you are doing very well. Wonderful. Very good. Go as fast as possible. A few of you are doing this. So I don't want this. What I want is this. Yes. Alternate. Alternate. Yes. हाँ अभी बहुत लोगों ने सही किया. Correct. Wonderful. Oh great. Lovely. Now this was an easy one. Okay. Now we'll do one more easy one. Then we'll proceed to the difficult one. So next is both hands like this again. And one fist close. Now open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. Keep going. If this is easy, go faster. Challenge yourself. Faster, 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 faster. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Yes, faster. Very good. Keep going. I'm looking at everybody. So lovely, very nice. A lot of you are doing very well. One up, one down. Now some of you are going this way. So one up, one down, one up, one down. Yes, has to go together. Correct. Very nice. So try to go as fast as you can go, not as fast as your neighbor is going. So do it at your pace, not at bajola kya kar raha hai, main uske hisab se karu. Not like that. Okay. Everybody is at their own level of fitness. Yes, good. Wonderful. Great. Now next is a little complicated one. Okay, so we are moving towards a difficult one. What you have to do is do this. A thumbs up. Show me a thumbs up, everybody, with any one hand. Any one hand. Yes. Now the other hand has to go into this. Now if you notice, my thumb is not up, it's down. So where you've made a fist, your thumb is up. And where you've not made a fist, your fingers are pointing, your thumb is down. Correct? Right. Now next is you make a fist here and you do this. When you do this, your thumb has to be down. So focus on the movement. It's very difficult, but it's very interesting and I'm sure you must be enjoying it. So come on. If you all have any doubts regarding the starting position of the movement, please feel free to interrupt. Very good. तो जिसकी उंगलियां आगे है उसका अंगूठा नीचे है और जिसकी उंगलियां बंद है उसका अंगूठा ऊपर है. So look at the position and you have to switch both hands. Keep going. Look at your own hands and keep working on it. No. Everybody is doing good work. Everybody is doing good work. Keep going. Keep trying. Keep trying. Very nice. Very happy to see people try this. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I'll show you again. One up, one down. So you have to keep switching between the two. Keep switching. Keep switching. And you have to try and go as fast as possible. Now look how fast can I go. So all of you have to try and do this. Okay. So I'm sure you must have understood by now what to do. But this one is a little difficult to do. Right. So I want to try a little more, then keep trying. I'll have a good watch and enjoy myself for a little while.
But practice is making us perfect.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Practice is making us perfect.
Yes, very true. Keep going. Wonderful.
Hello, I have one question. Hello.
Yes, sir. Please ask.
Hello.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Hello. My weight now has increased. Earlier it was 74 kilo. Now it is 79. I am 84-year-old. Now I want to reduce the weight. I try to control diet, control this. I walk on the house for half an hour, 45 minutes. And I am a regular walker. But still this weight has gone up. And what is to be done for that?
Okay.
Stop all rice and meat.
So would you mind if we take this question a little while later? In a few minutes I'll address you. in a few minutes. Let us just finish this up.
Yeah.
Surely I'll keep that in mind and address you. So we are done with the third one. Now, why did we do these exercises? These are coordination exercises. Can somebody tell me why did we do this?
To keep ourselves fit.
Coordination.
You just said coordination.
Mind and body brain, so that both sides of the brain function and we're able to coordinate well.
For memory. Somebody said mind-body coordination. So that's the exact word I was looking for. Mind and body are learning to coordinate with each other, which you will realize that this and this was very easy for now because you all are pro. But this was tough. You're not able to understand where what is going.
Yes.
So that comes with training. So when they're doing this, your mind is alert. Your mind is trying to give an instruction and your body is trying to follow. So it takes a few repetitions for your mind and body to develop that circuit to understand what the mind has to give command and what the body has to pick up. That takes a little while. But once you develop it, you'll realize it's going to be very smooth. So I want you all to do this as a homework. To do it on your own, practice it every day. And then next time when you all have a meeting, show it to everybody. Before the new speaker comes up to speak, 2 minutes before that, show it to everybody. How well can you do it? And watch each other do it. You'll feel really nice. Yeah, so that is like a homework that you all need to do it. Will you all be doing it? Good. Will you all do it?
Surely.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Yes. We'll try.
Somebody said hopefully. No, it should be surely. I want you all to do it.
The problem is, madam, the problem is that as you are showing us, we are able to do it perfectly well. But as soon as you go off the line, you keep the phone down, tomorrow we will forget what you have shown. So how to recollect that?
I have already forgotten some of the earlier ones.
Actually, maybe I can help. What I will do is, I think this session.
Could you send us all these on a video?
Which I'm going to keep on my website.
Could you send us all these on a video so we can watch your video and we can do it every day properly?
Yeah, that would help us to do that right.
Yeah. If you send it on a video.
So this particular Zoom session is being recorded right now.
Show once more.
As somebody was mentioning that they will save up the video and put it on the website. So I think from there you can even move ahead and access the parts that you've missed out and kind of watch those parts again and do it yourself. That's the best way I think to do. And otherwise, you can always personally contact me also. I can always redo it for you and revisit the same issues that you've had. So that we can always come up with. Now, these 3 coordination exercises we're doing. The next time, if suppose we're doing a session together, I'm going to ask you all this to show me. Okay, so you all need to be very good with it.
Can you show me the last one? Can you show me the last one?
The last one. Okay. So the last one is one hand goes into a thumbs up position. And the other hand goes into a finger showing position with the thumb down. Thumb is down. Yes.
This
and
is
then
it.
we switch. 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 Yes. So it all goes very haywire when you start doing it, but when you pick up the pace, it becomes very easy. See, I can do this fast. Now, why can I do it faster? Because I've trained myself to do it well. Not because I'm some genius on now. I've just trained myself to do it better. So that's how you will get it in a few days. Okay, and then
I
we'll
had
move
one
to
question. I had one question. You showed only one exercise on balancing with your legs folded on the chair. Is there any other balance? Like, because if you are a senior citizen, it would be difficult for a person to fold their legs and stand up. So is there any other balance exercise in place of that?
See, all those that we did in standing had a component of balance as well. So if you notice, I made you do the arms raising and I told you this is easy for you, come on your toes and do it. So that again had a component of balance. So everything that we did had balance into it and had a challenge of balance step also. So if that is difficult for you to just stand and move your hands, then you can come on your toes and do the same thing. So everything did have a little bit aspect of balance into it. And like you're mentioning in sitting, what I showed was this, folding your, bending your knees and lifting yourself up.
Standing.
So this I didn't show for balance. This I specifically showed to make you realize how much strength is there in your lower legs. So this was for that. So for you to analyze at what strength of the lower legs you are at. If you're able to do this, then you're at a good amount of strength because you're able to get up on your own and sit down on your own without any support. That's the only thing I wanted to show you. But other than that, this does not have a balance component so much into it. So need not worry about if your knees are not being able to fold, and you can even keep it straight and just get up like this. This can also be a balance for you if you're not able to bend your legs and do this movement. This can be balanced for you. This. And if you want to challenge it a bit more, what we can do is, so I'm sitting down. Now I try and get up without support, with both my feet down, and then I sit down. I don't fell down. I come back up.
Okay.
So this is very good for your strength of legs here and here, as well as training your balance. But how you have to do it? Core tucked in, core engaged. Your body shouldn't be like this. It has to be engaged. And then you go down. You can keep both your hands ahead and come back up.
Okay.
Go down, come back up. Now, in case you're able to do this, very easily, then do it without the chair.
Yeah.
What you have to do is go down and up. So go down,
Squats.
and up. Squats. We're doing squats. Squats are very good for your low body strength. And if you have some specific knee problem that is not at all allowing you to do the squat, then those same exercises to train your leg muscles can be modified into a mat or a bed where your legs are not taking all the weight. If your legs are not taking all the weight, there is no question of training them so much, right? So those same things can be modified while you're doing it in lying down. Lifting legs, bending knee, tummy tuck in. A lot of variations are available for you to do it. So,
Thank you.
next, I would
Thank
like
you so much.
I have one more question. Now, when we're standing to do the exercise, what is the distance we need to keep between the 2 feet?
approximately 6 inches, which is hip width apart.
Okay.
As far as your hips go, that's why legs should be.
Okay.
And if you want to really challenge your balance, narrow the base of support. Like
the gap.
if your feet are here, you can reduce the gap between your feet. To challenge yourself. Now I would like to address the question of the gentleman who was asking me about weight loss. Sir, may I have you? Sir, are you hearing me? The gentleman who had just asked me a few minutes ago the question on weight loss. Sir, are you there?
It doesn't matter. We are all
Yes,
hearing.
he's there.
Okay,
He's
so should I
there.
answer for him?
Is there, but I think he's muted his phone.
His phone must be
So
muted.
good that he's hearing. I'll answer his question. So
Yes, he's
he said that he has tried a lot of things for weight loss and he's still not able to lose his weight in spite of being a regular fit person and who walks a lot. So my suggestion to him would be that we really need to understand what is the cause of your weight gain. Like, have you been investigated for thyroid issues? Are you on thyroid medications? What other medications are you on? So that would require a little bit of detailed understanding of your case. Please, everybody mute your mic. So it would require me a little bit more details than this to understand why he has not lost his weight in spite of doing everything. So a lot of times what happens is we tend to suddenly starve ourselves too much, and I'm sure he must not be doing it. In just general, I'm saying this, that what we tend to do is, oh, my weight is increasing, so we tend to starve ourselves too much, and then we tend to exercise more. So what the body gets the signal is that there's a drought situation, like there's lack of food in the body. This is what the body perceives this situation as. It perceives it as threat to itself. So it thinks that there's a lack of food and there's an increase in activity. So what it does is, in fact, does the opposite. It stores more of stuff. So it doesn't let you burn that calorie because the body thinks that it is in a situation of drought. Are you understanding what I mean to say? I'll explain this point a little again. So what happens when you reduce your eating drastically and when you increase your exercise drastically at the same time to lose weight? So what happens is your body thinks that there is a situation of drought. Drought means there's no food available to the body. So because you've curtailed your food to a good extent and you've increased your exercise, so the activities have shot up, but the supply of food has reduced. So the body thinks that there's shortage, and in order to trying to protect itself. Every body has a protective response. So in order to protect itself, what it does is tries to store as much as possible instead of using it, because the body thinks that, oh, there's lack of stuff around. So like when we all knew there's COVID coming in and there's going to be a lockdown, everybody started storing stuff. So the body does is tries to store more things into fat. Fat is in fact a body's way of keeping things in reserve, right? That's what fat is, like to keep things in reserve. You need some amount of fat. Every fat is not bad for you. So one possibility is that when you have a sudden change in your routine, where you're reducing too much of eating and increasing too much of exercise, that might also disrupt your body. So that is one thing I think is very important for everybody to understand, that you have to be on a proper diet. See, there are 4 pillars of fitness. One is good sleep. Second is good nutrition. Third is exercise. And fourth is physical activity. What are you doing throughout the day? What activities are you doing? So all 4 pillars are important. If you're not sleeping adequately, your sleep is like 3 hours, 4 hours in the night, you still will turn up to be fat, or you'll not be able to lose weight. So we need to really understand for this gentleman specifically what his case is. I cannot, I'm sorry, but I won't be able to give a general advice considering your case is very specific. So general advice won't be a right thing to give. So I think that's what we need to look for, at why, what is the factor that you're not able to lose the weight. And also one thing I wanted to tell you all is, there was this study done in chronic kidney patients. It's called IHOPE. So it's a study in chronic kidney patients. And in those patients, what they found is chronic kidney patients, when subjected to half an hour of cycling thrice a week, had reduced in hospital stays and improvement in quality of life. So imagine a patient who's that debilitated, chronic patient who undergoes dialysis. Even those patients were subjected to static bicycling for half an hour only thrice a week, and they had a drastic difference over a period of few months, that their hospital stays reduced, that their quality of life improved. So exercise has a lot of benefits. Any other questions?
Ma'am, one more thing.
I have
some. Can we keep this as the last question? We are significantly over time. This has been really helpful. Let's keep this as the last question.
On what the gentleman asked, I had the same problem, madam, but I have been able to resolve it. So if time permits, I would like to share in my experience how I went through it. I am hypothyroidic and my weight was 79. I have been able to bring it down to less than 65 and yet continue on my hypothyroid medications. If time permits and if I'm allowed to share, I wouldn't mind.
I would request the organizers to please.
Actually, we'll take this on the next session, the next time that Dr. Pratha comes in. I think we need to limit this call.
Yeah, sure.
Dr. Pratha, I'd like to thank you sincerely from all of us. That this has been actually a very, very, very knowledgeable session. I would love to have you again shortly, so that we can continue this journey that we started. Having said that, I will try to put this video onto my website tonight, so that everybody can re-look at it in case they want to. All of Dr. Prem's videos are anywhere on my website. Please do have a look at it. From Tare Social, thank you very much, all of you. And Dr. Pratha specifically, this is thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pratha.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much.